people in the village don't know about glaucoma. Most people know about cataract, but people don't know about glaucoma. So somebody can just go blind and then they'll start saying it's witchcraft. And it was glaucoma.
Yeah.
It's just not dictated. Because people don't do this. When you go even to see your opticians, people don't check. Yeah. You just go and pick your spectacles and you move on with life. You don't go and see an ophthalmologist. Yeah.
So what would you advise people? Would you just advise everyone to go get checked?
Yes, my advice is even when you just, because, okay, glaucoma has yearly, they do free testing. I don't know if this still happens, but previously it was happening at Aga Khan, where you just go free screening. You go check, they can check your eyes. It's important because you never know, especially guys who just go and buy specs, yeah, from an optician. Most of those optical shops actually have ophthalmologists and ophthalmologists in-house. Just ask to see them. Pay a bit, or I think it's like 2,000, I don't know, but just pay and go and see them. Let them check your eyes. It might not be glaucoma. You might have something else that you don't know. Yeah, and you're just treating your lens, because what the specs is just your lens that you're treating. You don't know what's happening in the back of your eyes. Yeah.
If I asked you to explain glaucoma, you'd probably tell me two things. You know that one, it's an eye condition, and two, that it mainly affects the elderly. But there's so much more to learn about the condition, which is why it's called the silent thief of eyesight. Today on the podcast, we're joined by Maureen Wamboi, who is a millennial living with glaucoma. I am your host, Wamboi K. And on the Unseen Life Experience podcast, we share the untold stories of Africans living with or affected by disability. Hi, Maureen.
Hi, Wamboi.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming onto the podcast today.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you also for accepting my invitation.
And this is the first time you're also sharing your story, right?
This is the first time I'm doing it publicly, especially on video. I did it once on LinkedIn, and yeah, slightly scared. This is my first time also on an interview.
Yeah.
On this other side, yes.
But thank you so much for coming on. And let's get right into it.
Yes.
What is glaucoma?
So glaucoma is an eye condition that affects the eyes, yeah. And why they call it the silent killer is because of the how you lose it. You lose it from your peripherals, and then eventually, if it goes untreated, you just end up being blind.
And what causes it? Is it genetics? Is it...
So every person is different. I'll speak about myself. For me, apparently it's supposed to be genetic. We have not drawn to who I inherited it from, because everyone, after now eventually being diagnosed and being treated, people went for testing, my uncles, my mom, my sister, my cousins, and no one has it. Even my dad, no one has it. We don't know where I got it from, because I'm not old, because people think it's because you're old. I don't have diabetes. So yeah, mine is genetic.
And how old were you when you were diagnosed, or when you started realizing that there was something a bit off?
So when I was in primary, in class 4, and we used to play the game where you stretch your hands, and then during PE time, and then I realized I couldn't see on my left side. I couldn't see my fingers. So I remember I went home crying and told my dad, I think I'm blind. And then my dad laughed, because I was a kid. You don't think a kid knows what they're saying. So it went unnoticed. And then now, eventually, I'm very grateful for my mom. My mom pushed completely. So when I went finally to see a doctor, I was taken to Kikuyu. And sorry, am I allowed to name the hospitals?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was taken to Kikuyu, and why it was slightly scary for me was the fact that I was being moved from one doctor to another. Like, person comes and looks at my eyes and be like, I'll send you to somebody in the same hospital. So yes, until I met the biggest doctor there, who looked at my eyes and then looked at me, and then I told my mom, she is sick. She actually, the condition is called glaucoma. but it went untreated even after it was diagnosed. After it was, yeah, like I got treated when I was in Form 2. That was when finally I went to see a specialist. Before I was just seeing any regular doctor, not being given any medication. So my eyes just continued deteriorating. Yeah, the only thing I was given was spectacles. That's it, glasses. Yeah.
And what was the eye test like?
So basically, there are different. There's a test called visual fields that you do, which even in Kikuyu, they kept on just giving it to me. I kept on going for visual fields, but nothing else. So basically, you stare at a small hole. You know, when you go to check a skin analysis, that um, I think you can show the way it looks, the machine itself, so that somebody can understand. But it has a small hole in it, and then a button that you're given. So you keep on pressing it when you see a dot. So that checks how far your vision is. Like, yes, the 360. Like, where exactly is it affected? Like for me, my left eye is the bottom left, that is pitch black, and the top left is slightly but not that bad, but it's at the moment we're standing at around 53, if I'm not wrong. I have to check my visual fields again, but yeah, but my right eye is at 93. Yeah.
This is percent
Yes, the
of.
percentage of vision I can see.
Okay. Wow. So in Form 2 is when you got active treatment.
Yeah, so when now it continued, just every single time I keep on complaining there's something wrong, I'm losing my sight. And my mom finally, there's a doctor they found from Lions. So I went to Lions. So when I was sent to Lions, I saw a doctor there. And they did the test, they confirmed, because they also had to confirm. So they did the visual field, there's another test where they inject you to see your nerves, the behind, from the back of your eye. So they also did that. They checked your pressure, because glaucoma is affected by pressure. So too much pressure makes you go blind, basically, like high blood pressure, or too low, the same way. So they gave me a medication and they sent me home. So went home, went back to school. Like everything is fine. When my medication got done, I stopped. I didn't know I was supposed to buy because they didn't mention it. And then one day I was in class. I remember it was an English class, and then I just could not see. It was pitch black. And then I started crying. Sent to the principal. My dad, and my mom were called. So then is when I was sent to another specialist who I'm forever grateful for, and that's Dr. Dan Kiage. From now he has his own hospital, but then he was a doctor at Aga Khan. So went to see him. He was so mad, I remember, because of they didn't tell me all this, that because now that meant my pressure came back 3 times more than it was before. So I had to go for an emergency surgery for my left eye at first. So immediately they planned. I went in for my surgery, and then the surgery is to lower your pressure so that you can be able to see better, or just to retain what the vision that you have, because there's no treatment, you can't go back, it's just management. So it's just to lower the pressure. So that's what he did on my left eye. Then when I was in Form 3, they did for my right eye. Yes, but I keep on saying, if it was not for him, I will be blind now.
So what was your surgery like? Like, how are you operated? Where are you operated from? Do you have any scars that we can see?
So yes, it's inside my eye. Like, we have to remove my specs and then to open my eyelids so for you to be able to see. But the way it was done, it don't have a full cornea, so it's slightly carved on it, and because of that I can't wear contacts, because the moment I wear them, somebody can think I'm crying. Like, it looks saggy, it just looks weird. So yeah, I can't wear contacts.
And do your eyes experience any extreme sensitivity?
Yes, I can't do lashes. The people like lashes. I have to be very cautious when I am doing makeup, especially eye makeup, because if anything goes inside, I get irritated, like it turns red. Yeah, like I remember a friend of mine did for me the fake lashes, the single ones, and it was horrible. It was painful. My eyes were red. Yeah, I remember my dad was so mad at me. Yeah, but it looked cute when it lasted, but no, I just can't.
And can you go like for an event where there are a lot of strobe lights? Would those affect you?
I've never experienced it affect the aftermath because I've gone to several events and they had a lot of light on it. But you never know. So I don't know. At the moment, it does not affected me. What I've seen, what really annoys me personally, and also irritates my eyes, is the flashlights at every stop. The cameras that were in, yes,
Yeah, those are pretty bright.
very, and then they flicker. And I always make a joke. If somebody has epilepsy, that is a trigger for them. Yeah, but I really don't like them. It makes it at some point like my eyes just go a bit dark, then come back to normal. But yeah,
So when you were first given medication,
yeah.
what type of medication was that?
It's just eye drops. It's
Oh,
just eye drops to reduce your pressure, but I was not told
okay.
that the way you have when somebody has high blood pressure, when it's the moment you start that medication, you do it for the rest of your life. I was not told that. So when it got finished, when I was still in school, I didn't call for it to be refilled. I just stopped using it because I didn't know that I'm supposed to use it for the rest of my life. But yeah.
And how many surgeries have you had so far?
Just two. One for my left eye and one for my right eye.
Both to reduce the pressure.
Yeah, both to reduce the pressure.
And are the medications hard to get? Are they very expensive? Are the eye tests very expensive? What do the cost implications look like?
It is. And I laugh sometimes when every single time I tell God I want to be the 1% in the money side. It's like He gives me diseases that make it like I'm now the 1% in diseases. Like I have in my family, I'm the one who has glaucoma, I have ADHD, I have asthma. I was a very sickly child. So I'm a very expensive human. But what I wish the government could do more is make the treatment more affordable to people. Because, first of all, going to see a specialist, it's 5,000 bob to just see her. Yeah. And then you have to do your visual fields, which can cost about 25 to 15K, depending. And then this is just the tests. And then maybe another test that maybe you need to do, the one for the injection, which is I think around, I can't remember because it's a while back, but maybe around, it was around maybe 25 to 50K. And you have not even factored in the fact that you need specs. Yeah, and the lenses are not cheap, the frames are not cheap. So it's an expensive disease, and you don't choose to have it, but it's expensive to maintain it. Yeah.
And you got properly diagnosed when you were in Form 2.
Yeah.
What was school like for you then?
So I let's go back to my primary. I Kids can be hurtful. Kids can say maybe things that they don't know what they're saying. It can hurt somebody, but kids can be very hurtful. And my primary, I don't talk to people from who I went to school with in primary school. I think only speak to two now. Yeah, because apart from just having glaucoma, I was a very sickly child. Yeah, and I was always in and out of hospital, in and out of hospital. And what they used to say about me till today is what I'm discussing with my therapist about. So yeah, it was hurtful. Then also going to high school, because I had one of the diseases that the doctor tells you she'll grow out of it. Yeah. So that meant even in high school, I was still being very a sickly child. That means I couldn't even do like chores that you are assigned to. So I was on a special diet. So people use that and feel like unajifanya. The way Kenyans just, yeah, it was, my high school was actually better because the teachers loved me and they really took care of me. But my my classmates and people in school, some of them, not all of them. High school was better because now I even have friends that I talk to until now. But some people are just still hurtful. Yeah, because somebody might feel that I'm being treated differently. Why? But they don't sit down and ask. So why? Yeah, you're sick. So how can we help you? Yeah.
Would you say you had seen or felt any symptoms?
No, because the reason why they call it the silent killer is because you don't feel anything. If during that time in school we didn't do that activity for stretching my hands, I would have not known. One day I would have just woken up and I can't see, because you don't see. There's no pain. Yeah, there's nothing, like you don't feel anything. Your eyes are just going. Yeah.
You just wake up one day
Yeah.
literally and your eyesight
Yeah.
is gone or different.
Or different, and it's something that I used to laugh with with my doctor, and because people in the village don't know about glaucoma. Most people know about cataract, but people don't know about glaucoma. So somebody can just go blind and then they'll start saying it's witchcraft, and it was glaucoma.
Yeah.
It's just not dictated, because people don't do this. When you go even to see your opticians, people don't check. Yeah, you just go and pick your spectacles and you move on with life. You don't go and see an ophthalmologist. Yeah.
So is what would you advise people? Would you just advise everyone to go get checked?
Yes, my advice is even when you just, because, okay, glaucoma has yearly, they do free testing. I don't know if this still happens, but previously it was happening at Aga Khan, where you just go free screening. You go check, they can check your eyes. It's important because you never know, especially guys who just go and buy specs, yeah, from an optician. Most of those optical shops actually have um, ophthalmologists and ophthalmologists in house. Just ask to see them. Pay a bit, or I think it's like 2,000. I don't know, but just pay and go and see them. Let them check your eyes. It might not be glaucoma. You might have something else that you don't know. Yeah, and you're just treating your lens, because what the specs is just your lens that you're treating. You don't know what's happening in the back of your eyes. Yeah.
So now that you know you have it, do you still go for tests to see the percentage of your eyesight, like yearly?
I do. I used to do 6 months. Nowadays, I do yearly check. It's a must. I have to. Even though nowadays I make a joke. It's like I'm just spending money to be told I'm okay, which is a good thing, a good problem to have. But yes, I have to go yearly. Yes.
And how does it affect your work?
So in high school, my KCSE paper used to be, it was big. It was like a New York Times. And I laughed till today because it was like my parents were like, if you fail, there's no excuse. We did everything. But now, to my current life, when I stare too long on a screen, I start feeling a bit tired. I can't stay on a screen and read a book because it will be gibberish on the paper. The other thing is I prefer books, printed out books. I can't read on a screen. Yeah. So even as much as planet Earth needs my help on that, I can't. I've tried it, but just it's not for me. Yeah. It's just painfully, yeah, to to read on a screen. Yeah.
And since this was diagnosed while you were much younger, how would you say it's influenced you as a person and your day to day, everything you do?
Um, for me, it made me understand that I'm not crazy. Yeah, and to understand there's a reason as to why this is happening. Yeah, and it's the same way when people, like, I have ADHD. Yeah, and looking back now, I can understand why I was doing those things the way I did in school. Yeah, why am I creative? Why is my brain working? Because now there is an answer. I don't feel overwhelmed with so many questions that I can go unanswered. So yes, I am very, for me, I'm just grateful that I know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have bad days with the condition?
At the moment, because it's managed, no, just the reading that I just can't do.
Okay.
But the only thing that I realized is my eyes get tired, and I know it gets that because I'm always on my screen. Yeah.
So, what are some misconceptions about glaucoma?
Uh that from what I've realized and what I've seen is it's that it's not a disability, but it is. Yeah, it is. And what I hope the government does is make it open a foundation for it, or an advocacy for people to just awareness is important. It is a disability. Also that it only affects people over 45. That's not true. I was very young when I got it. Or you can get it, yes, when you have diabetes, but it's not the only way you can get it. And then of course that, because if somebody in your family doesn't have it, you can't have it. None in my family has it, but it's supposed to be genetic because that's why I have it. But no one, we can't trace where I got it from. So yeah, you can just have it even though no one else in your family has it. Maybe you are the first in maybe the previous generation, or yeah, to have it.
And are there any communities that you found for people living with it, maybe locally, support groups, etc.?
No, and that's something that I hope one day that it can be created. But at the moment, I have not found any community that you can go and just talk to each other so that you don't feel you're alone. And yeah, but also what I've decided to do, if not, it's of course like now creating awareness about it. I've tried to talk. I've emailed different organizations that deal with the for the blind, to just, I can, if I can be part of them, to be an advocate for it. And I'm just doing is offering my time. I don't want money from it. I just want people to know more about it. Yeah. And so what nowadays I do is I listen to people from outside who have it. Like Andrea Bocelli has it. That's why he's blind. He
What?
has glaucoma. And when I was young, I still have those fears. I used to be so scared that one day I'll go blind. Even till today, I still keep on asking even when it's on the test, when it drops by 1%, I keep on asking my doctor. So does this mean my eyes are this? It's like, is it happening? And she's like, no, it's just an error. 1% is just an error. You're fine. Your pressures are okay. Yes. So I used to get so scared. But now listening, and I love Andrea. So listening to him, watching his life, and I'm like, it's okay. If it ever happens, I'm okay with it. But for now, it has not happened, so I'm living with the now. Now I'm okay. Yes. Now it's managed. Yes.
Who are some other public figures that you follow their journey with glaucoma?
At the moment, only know about Andrea.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it a very rare condition?
I don't think it's as rare as people make it to look like. It's just that people are silent about it. Yeah. People are quiet. It's the same way people are quiet about mental health, especially in Africa. You are born never to talk about some things. Yeah. So yeah, it's just that people are just quiet. It's not that it's so rare. I think when people start talking about it, I'll be, even for me, I'll be shocked of how many people will have it. Yeah.
I think you shouldn't stop talking about it, and also sounds to me like maybe you should create a community.
I that is a lot of pressure, because where am I going to find these people? And people are not talking. You see, that's different.
Yeah.
If people are talking about it and are willing to open up about it, I have no problem in spearheading one.
Yeah, maybe you'll start one and then you'll see people coming up and starting to say, okay, I actually have it. But I find that sometimes you need to be the first one to say it and then people will reach out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, I can have a conversation with my doctor, Dr. Sheila Marco, and see what we can do about it.
Going back to your story and how you went to your dad and told him that you thought you were blind, did you feel listened to? And what would you tell parents about how they should relate to their children once their children feel that something is wrong with them?
Of course, I didn't because my dad thought it was a joke. Yeah, and even think the way I said it, I don't blame him at all. But what I think parents should do about kids when they come and tell them there's something wrong with them, I feel like they should listen, find out more about what exactly they're trying to tell them instead of dismissing it. Yeah, that is what I can advise parents to do. But what I'm also seeing right now with my generation, the millennial, raising kids, they are very conscious about kids and to know what exactly is wrong with them and they listen. So there's a shift in parenting, which is a good thing.
Any last words, Maureen?
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast, and it's by Jules and Sharon, and then they had Kwambox on it, and then there's a blind guy who was part of the podcast, and there's something that they mentioned that I really loved. They said, okay, he said he was talking about the fact that in restaurants, the way we don't have accessibility for different things. People with wheelchair, a blind person going for a meal because it's not in braille, and it's a project that he started for turning menus also into braille so that people feel included in and inclusivity in things. And I feel like something that all of us should do as a country, individually, just inclusivity for people who have disability so that they don't feel different. Yeah.
And that is exactly why we started this podcast.
Ah, that's amazing.
These
Yeah.
stories really need to be shared and
Yeah.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, and they are also, because Tribe also took up that project and they have a menu in Braille.
It's amazing.
I know. I actually even teared when I was listening to that podcast. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I wish all of us can be like this.
I really need to find that episode.
Yeah, I'll share it with you.
Awesome.
I will.
All right.
It was amazing. Yeah. He calls himself.
And also, you can hear VIP.
Yeah.
And it has like double effect. So it's your normal VIP.
Yeah.
And then visually impaired person.
I love that.
So
Yes.
there's a swag to it.
I know. It was amazing. It's amazing. Even right now, I'm like, that's a good way of calling yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maureen, for coming to the podcast. And I hope after this episode, you will realize that you're not alone. And I hope other people will also speak up about their condition.
Thank you for having me. And yes, I'm hoping people to speak up about different conditions that they have, because it will help somebody realize that you're not alone in this journey. Yeah, like I was also listening to your previous podcast about the biker, and I didn't know there was something like that before. So yeah.
We have now come to the end of this podcast. You can find the visuals on YouTube and the audio wherever you listen to your podcast from. Please follow and subscribe and listen to all the other episodes. This is currently the 4th episode, and we have some amazing stories.
Coming up.
Bye.
Yeah.